Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve. Today is an exciting day because I'm launching my new mod, the initial version of it, which will be buggy. Uh, Scholar of the Second Sin Visual Overhaul, which adds bonfire shadows, shadows from light fixtures throughout the game world, and very recently then added shadow casting for basically the entire game world. So like there'll be new shadows for mountains that will hit the terrain and big pillars, and so you're gonna see a lot more shadows. I'm gonna show you later in this video. Very quickly first, I want to show you how to install my mod because it's super easy. But I wanted to make sure there's a video option. Also, this is in 4K, so you'll actually see everything of the mod, and it looks good. 1080p videos on YouTube. Woof. Okay, so here you'll see four different things I had set up. And right here you have your game folder for Dark Souls 2. So this is the standard Dark Souls 2 folder. My God, I can't talk. I'm having my coffee this morning, so had a late night. But so first, I will have good instructions on the Nexus mods page, of course. But a video option I thought might be better. So we have the game folder here. We have the download of my mod, which you can ignore the RAR file. That's what you're going to be downloading. Inside of it will be these four folders. So just a note. And then down here is basically what a download of DS2 lighting engine, which is not my mod, made by Ganaboy / Rage Vitamins in the Discord. He's amazing. And his work is tireless and awesome. And my mod was made with DS2 lighting engine in mind. I used it to test it the entire time. I 100% recommend using the DS2 lighting engine. So what you'll do, you can install the DS2 lighting engine either before or after. It doesn't really matter. But to install the DS2 lighting engine, you literally just copy these three folders or three items here, and you go to your game folder, and it will ask you, do you want to overwrite? And you go, yeah, sure. And that's it. You've installed the DS2 lighting engine. It's amazing. For something that game-changing to be that easy, it's delightful. So before you can install my mod, though, you need to have UXM Selective Unpacker. There's a link in the mod description. It's commonly used for all Souls games. It's an amazing program. But basically, you'll open up UXM after downloading it from the link. Executable path, you will choose your Dark Souls 2 EXE, and it will then update the executable path with what you've picked. You will then click Unpack, which by default, it will take much longer. I've already unpacked my game files. It will take probably, I think for me it takes like 2 or 3 minutes. It's not horrible, but just a note. It'll unpack, and then you can hit patch, which I think by default I patched after I installed my mod, but I believe you could patch anytime. It basically patches the EXE, I think, to... Yeah, I think it patches the EXE to understand that you need to use the new files that we're going to copy over. So that's it for UXM. And then to install my mod, you basically, inside the download, you'll see it says Scholar of the Second Sin Visual Overhaul. Inside of it, we have these four folders. And you go to your game folder, and it will ask, would you like to overwrite? And that is where you say yes. I'm not going to do it because I think I might have more up-to-date files that I'm working on for a future update, so I'm not going to actually do it. But you just overwrite, and then that's it. So let's launch the game. I want to show you very quickly. Here we go. I'm going to show you a very quick look at what my mod does. I'm going to try to be pretty quick about it, as I commonly sometimes go on a little bit too long. So let's go to this character in Forest of the Fallen Giants. Boldingar. So this is using the DS2 lighting engine. my visual overhaul mod, my texture mod, and yeah, so currently I'm using, there's a separate mod, it's not part of this, it'll be in the description, where it's a port of the clean UI and Bloodborne lock-on. It's really cool. But that's not part of my mod. But anyway, so here you'll see we have bonfire shadows. Woo! They were used on like 1 or 2 bonfires in the original game. Oh, that guy looks cool. Oh, nice. Good for you, dude. And then they just weren't enabled for all the other bonfires. It's a little strange. Presumably it was a performance thing. But yeah, you'll see my character is casting shadows as he's going around. The shadows are also being cast on the enemies. I think it looks awesome. The grass that I've added here, some of it I've added, some of it was already here. They also cast shadows now, which looks cool. It'll be from the sun, from the bonfire, from your torch. It's awesome. Let's go to things betwixt, because that'll actually show off a lot of things at once. Because my mod, I went in manually per map and flew around and using DS Map Studio, and I removed point lights that were holdovers that would basically it's essentially hero lighting, where it's not connected to a light fixture. And I found that to be, I get why he's got the Mimic helm. Hell yeah. This mod is playable online. That's why I like recording these while I'm online, so people can see that, yeah, it works online. It's awesome. I'm also not using reshade. Reshade is not part of this mod at all. Reshade is really cool, but these are all engine edits that are enabling what I'm talking about here. So the grass I added around here, tried to keep it a little circle around the bonfire. There's now shadows on the grass itself that's coming from the light the bonfire is giving off, which is awesome. You'll see my character now has a shadow behind him that's coming from the bonfire. So that's added. That looks really cool. I was wondering what the sound was. You guys can't hear it, but it's my cat wheezing on the other side of the room. He is deep in sleep. Inside here, I made the light above dynamic. I made the light from the fireplace dynamic. And so now you'll get a nice shadow behind the lady here, and then they will also have shadows. So NPCs get their shadows added. You'll see Lucatiel with a shadow in Lost Bastille or wherever she shows up. As she's now casting a shadow. It's super cool. You'll love to see it. Oh yeah, I was gonna head out the other way. So yeah, my mod, the game world is certainly darker because it's not gonna be relying on fake point lights to illuminate the world. It's gonna be based on the moonlight or the sunlight or light fixtures. I need to go in and modify this lamp and this lamp, as I had updated them to be dynamic and have light sources. But apparently I undid that at some point, so I've lost a bit of sleep and getting this mod ready for an initial release. Oh, there's another online guy. Okay, so here's a bunch of grass. This is going towards the starting area in the game. And this area had a bunch of grass by default. This is all default grass, which is really cool. It's one of the only areas where they used a bunch of grass. They front-loaded it. But the shadows the grass is casting, that's new. That is casting from the light that's coming in towards Majula. And yeah, before it had no shadowing at all. And to me it always looked weird. Also, this giant shadow that's being cast on top of this little, what do you call this, pagoda? What do we call this? Let me know in chat. What do we call this? The thingy? It's early, I haven't had enough coffee. But yeah, this big shadow that's now added here is coming from these giant pillars. So that's another feature of my mod. It turns that on where now the game world is going to be casting shadows over other objects in the game world. And so by lighting your torch, oh, that's the other thing I need to do. Okay, let me go back to the bonfire. But yeah, now you have shadows on grass everywhere. Majula, shaded woods. I added grass personally there, so yeah. So in my mod, you'll need to be careful of this bridge used to have a hero light on it, which was not based on anything. And now it's sort of very dark because it's a very dark area, and you need to be careful. I biffed it and died more times than I should have. Also, I added grass around here, and it looks a lot more fleshed out. I tried to make it look natural. Basically, there was already a little bit of grass there. I just expanded it. But yeah, so let's go back and light my fire. That's a song, right? That's a lyric. Okay, let me toggle. Alright, we now have torch. But yeah, all objects, not just objects, because the shadow casting already happened on like barrels and things, if I remember correctly. But now, like map objects, like this tree and the wall, they will cast shadows as you walk through things. And so you'll see it on the branches here. I'm also recording this in 4K, so you actually can like notice it. 1080p YouTube, woof. But yeah, it's going to cast on the grass down here as you walk. It's going to cast around these little pyre thingies that you're lighting. The only thing I don't have working currently is whenever you light your bonfire, or whenever these things are lit, I have not gotten them to cast shadows on their own. Like you'll notice my character doesn't have a shadow behind him or around him from the pyre. I'm working on that. I just haven't figured out the parameter that enables that. We'll see. But as you walk through here, you'll see it's really nice, and they add all the grass, and your shadow, there's shadows dancing everywhere from the illumination of the torch. It's basically just a giant expansion of what the base game was doing with the torch. It would do it on objects, but it just wouldn't really affect any map object, like the trees and the wall and the bricks and the doors and the jail cell bars, and just as an example. There was just a lot that it would cast. And it still looked good, but now I feel like this is the true potential of what the pre-release footage for Dark Souls 2 showed. That's been my sort of North Star for this, is I wanted that to be an experience we could have. I think that's why I enjoyed working on this mod and the other two mods I did prior. I make mods I want to play, and it really helps me stay motivated. But God, I love the self-shadowing on the armor, like as you're casting the torch. Oh, it's so nice. The DS2 lighting engine, you'll see it also does an amazing job of making the material work on the armor look really awesome. I'll also, on my Twitter, I shared the work of the official texture artist for the DS2 lighting engine, Trivia. She is going in and specifically modifying them to make them like PBR or physically based rendering compatible, because that's now eligible for use in the DS2 lighting engine mod. It's amazing. And so now she's going back in and making the textures look so much better than what my upscale personally could have done. And so she's so talented. So that's on my Twitter, which is in my link in the description. And she's in the Discord, so super cool. A lot of cool things coming to DS2 lighting engine, but this is a focus more on my visual overhaul, which marries perfectly with the DS2 lighting engine. So I'm gonna go drink more coffee. This has been From Soft Serve. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you want to talk about anything Souls related, or just anything. If you want to talk about cats, that's cool too. Have you leveled ADP yet? What's your favorite level in DS2? What's your favorite boss? Favorite zone? Favorite weapon? Just anything. Do you think Vendrick got a rough deal? Is that sad? Spoiler, although it's been out for a long time. So, is this going to make you play Dark Souls 2 for the first time? Or have you only played it once and you're going to come back? What do you think? Just let me know. I love talking in the comments. I try to respond to all of them, but I tend to forget or miss them with the way that they notify me of comments. I tend to miss them. But anyway, thank you. Have a great day. The mod should be out by the time you're watching this video. So download it. Please endorse it. Vote for it if you like it, if you've enjoyed it. Means a lot. I've had a lot of love from the community over my modding efforts, which have only stretched like 2 or 3 weeks since I started. And it's been pretty amazing to see the response. It's been just a lot of love, and I appreciate it a lot. I really do. I've had a lot of added subscribers in the past 2-3 weeks. I love you all. We're all fellow hollows or bearers of the curse, chosen undead, tarnished, hunters, kindled ash, unkindled ash. We're unkindled, to be fair. But anyway, see you next time. Peace.